is El Cap still as captivating to you as it is the first time you set your eyes on it?
Oh yeah, I mean, captivating is a great word to use. I mean, there's thousands of words to use for El Cap, and none of them will really capture unless you're standing there at the base, and maybe you have to climb it too. But I'm up to 177 ascents of the nose. So, not the nose, sorry, of El Cap. I've done 26 different routes on El Cap, 117 times on the nose. The others are all the other smattering of routes. But I'll point out often when I go around speaking, whether it's a bank or construction company or REI or climbing gym, like where is Yosemite and why is Yosemite this mecca where it draws people from around the world? And I point out that 3,000 feet is an amazing giant chunk of granite, and it's a mile and a half wide. But rocks that tall and that big do exist in other places in the world. But if you go to Baffin Island, you're talking about a float plane or a sailboat or something to get to the base, right? If you're talking about Kazakhstan, you're talking about a 3-day trek with yaks, or if you're daring enough, get into a Russian helicopter, right, to get to the base. Yosemite, you have a 15-minute walk from your car door to the base of a 3,000-foot cliff, which is just this combination of wild terrain and crazy, easy accessibility, right? Those are the two things combined that make El Capitan amazing. Huge, gigantic, wild, and it's really accessible, right? I named more things there than I wanted to, but just basically fantastic, big, and it's really accessible.
It is absolutely a marvel of nature that there's this beautiful valley that people can drive right into and set their eyes on El Capitan a short walk if they decide to do that, or if they take their binoculars out, they can actually maybe even with their naked eyes they can spot people on the climb. And I think that is one huge reason, like you said, like just the approach for all kinds of people, climbers and non-climbers alike. For me, myself, yes, I've climbed a bit in Yosemite, but then also taking people out there for the first time and having their faces light up. That is such a pleasing sight. I did want to ask you this question of taking people, new people to Yosemite. You have taken all kinds of people over the years and taken them up the nose. You have taken beginners, you have taken adaptive climbers. I can only imagine how much work that must be. What compels you to put in so much hard work to share this climb with others?
So I think that any guide or someone who introduces something, an activity to people that are new to it, whether it's like surfing, you take people out surfing and they're just so psyched and, maybe amazed by your skill, but they're just so big, bright-eyed, this natural free ride that the waves give them. Or it could be kayaking, or it could be rappelling. A guide knows this, that like you're getting to relive how crazy, obsessed you were with climbing those first months and years that you climbed, and how, just cool it is. I mean, for climbers, it's the physical movement. You're problem solving with the tip of your fingers to the tip of your toes and using your head. And it's also, outdoor climbing takes you to places that are amazing, right? But that's why I say those two different things. There's a physical experience of you're using every muscle in your body. A beginner, when they come down, they've been holding on for dear life, right? And for that, whatever they can hold on for, 2 to 7 minutes to get to the top of a 20-foot wall in a climbing gym, they were thinking about one thing, that wall. How can I get up? How can I not maybe die? They're so scared. And they come down and every muscle in their body is tight. And it's kind of this physical meditation, right? So that's this one part is the physical. And the other is just kind of taking control of your seen as part of the nature thing. Like, I want to climb that rock over there, or that mountain, or that terrain, and I'm going to find a way to get up it. So there's this sort of, not so much puff your chest out of conquering things. I mean, we all know the famous quote from Warren Harding, El Cap looked a lot better than me. But all this to say that, you're getting to venture out into these incredible places and experience incredible places. So not pairing up with the same old experienced partner on El Cap means I get to see and be part of this amazing first time with people on El Cap. I mean, when you get to the top of the cliff after being on it 2 days, 3 days, or a long day, it's just, and being on it, you see it in people's face, and you're reliving it yourself. You get all that same energy. So, well, let me help everybody remember this with the acronym TNT, which is dynamite, right? Try new things. You've said it 3 times or 4 times already, but TNT, dynamite. Dynamite's good for your for your life. Trying new things. And I'm gonna plug here DHT, which is do hard things. DHT challenge is the thing I came up with in 2010, which we made a list of things to do for the year. And at first it was like, hey, let's do something hard, like let's do 513s, or let's do V9, or let's do a marathon, or let's challenge people to go to 5 different gyms. And then someone said, well, could we do something like serve 3 hours at a soup kitchen, or volunteer at, hospice or something? I'm like, that'd be hard. And they're like, yeah, it's do hard things, right? I'm like, okay. So we'd add things like that. And we'd add things like write a handwritten note and mail it to somebody, because people don't do that anymore. Call 3 friends you haven't talked to in 3 months and just say, hello, I appreciate you in my life. That actually may not sound hard to some people, but to others, it's like, oh, okay. And we made a list of things for people to do at the gym, and people would come up to me like, that's so cool. I called a friend that I hadn't talked to, and I'm so glad you suggested that to me. And I'm like, well, I didn't suggest it to you. The community made it up this list. It wasn't just me. Because I can come up things like I think are hard for me, 513 or whatever, and people will be like, well, sounds like serving 3 hours in a soup kitchen is harder for you, Hans. I'm like, yeah, you're right. All right. That would be hard for me. But I think, willing to go and look like a beginner. And I not only looked, but was a beginner at surfing, is a mindset that's good to have. And I get, I'm thinking of the classic sort of, 27-year-old person out in their van trying to get that next grade, the 13C or 14B or whatever they're trying for. And that's their focus, just that. And that's what they're good at. And it is wonderful to master something or become expert at and spend 10,000 hours at it. At the same time, it's refreshing to go and try, bow and arrow, archery or something, and you can't even hit the haystack. And it's great to see rapid recruitment of skills in another thing. And I often find that rounding out of your skills only is going to help your climbing. And I do go around and teach clinics, and this is very important, is the Karate Kid movies. And they call it Kung Fu in the later versions of the Karate Kid movies, is like everything is Kung Fu, right? Everything is karate. Hanging your jacket on the hook is Kung Fu. Well, I say everything is climbing. I'm washing the dishes. I spread and do the splits on the ground because I'm so tall. Otherwise, I'm arching my back over to get my hands in the sink to clean the dishes. So I'm spreading my feet and doing the splits and trying to stay flexible and stuff. And washing the dishes is climbing, whatever. So that trying new things, it is, I don't know, keeps you learning, I guess. You can always bring it back to climbing.
I love that, Hans.